We are crossing to you from here at the waterfront, where the Department of Employment and Labour's Underwater Conference is currently underway. Of course, the department has arranged this conference, which will now be focusing specifically on the commercial diving sector. And they will be looking at the occupational health and safety standards and the practices, and also enforcement, and also that kind of issues surrounding this sector going forward. And we are joined now by the Inspector General for the Department of Labour and Employment, Ms. Aggy Moiloa, who can maybe give us a bit more details and a bit more information regarding the program and what we can expect over the next few days here during this underwater conference. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to the SABC.
Yes. So this is one of our conferences that we do on an annual basis, and we focus on various sectors. So like you rightfully said, we're here in Cape Town. It's an underwater conference. We're focusing on the diving sector. Reason being that you're taking time off to really send a message that you're not just about inspections, we're also about advocacy. So we're here to capacitate each other. We've got a full suite of very top-notch speakers. We even have speakers from overseas. We've got gentlemen from Scotland that are going to be presenting. We've got speakers from the academia that are going to be presenting on their research work. And we also have, amongst others, people that are role players in the whole sector of commercial diving. We've got people that own schools. We've got our very own inspectors also that are in this conference. So the whole idea is for us to have a conversation around the commercial diving sector in terms of how can we try and minimize occupational health and safety hazards and make sure that we minimize also the incidents and fatalities.
Okay. Then, ma'am, at this stage, with just what's happening in this commercial diving sector, can you maybe paint us a picture, give us maybe a bit of an idea of what those current statistics look like, what some of the fatalities that have been reported recently, just what's that sector looking like in terms of just occupational health and safety?
Yeah. We don't have a lot of statistics in this area. I must point out that research work is very challenging. So the one other thing that we're looking at is how to advance technologically and take advantage of innovation and make sure that through technology we're able to gather more data. So the statistics that we have, it's a 4 or 5 year statistic that I'm talking about, that in terms of what God reported to us, it's 9 fatalities during that period. But you are also mindful of the fact that for every fatality that is reported, there are many more others that don't get reported. So our data collecting system and the research work is not where we want it to be. And that is why earlier this morning, when a presentation was made on the Occupational Health and Safety Strategy 2029, we put emphasis on the fact that we want to improve in research and how we collect data so that you can get a full picture of what is happening. You know, the bad thing is that when incidents happen in this sector, they're almost always fatal. So they become bad incidents. And that is why we're saying, let's spend time talking about these things and say, how can we minimize and prevent this type of incidents? And it's a message that you've been carrying across consistently throughout all the sectors.
So from what I'm hearing so far, I understand that the research could be one of the big challenges just in terms of monitoring the health and safety standards and also in terms of compliance. What are some of the other challenges maybe that you can highlight for us?
Low compliance levels. You find that as we're presenting this morning, we're showing that compliance levels when it comes to occupational health and safety is still quite low. And the emphasis is that we know that this sector has got diving regulations that you focus on when we regulate this workspace. But we're saying go beyond your own regulations. Look at the whole Occupational Health and Safety Act. We've got, for instance, general safety regulations, general administration regulations. You make sure that you comply with everything that you need to comply with. So we're sending a message that compliance is actually cheap if you do the right thing. But if you don't comply, then it's costly. We saw statistics coming from the compensation fund showing that for the past 5 years, more than 500,000 rather, applications were put in for people that got injured at work and people that got fatalities, and more than 20 billion was paid during that period. So if you comply, you save that money as well. And you save people from dying, from losing their limbs, and even from mental diseases, because these type of things affect a whole range of well-being where a worker is concerned. And we're also pushing the decent work agenda to say people have got, when we drive the decent work agenda, we're talking about the access to social security. We are talking about protection and for workers to have a voice where they work, and amongst other things.